morning and good afternoon to everyone from all the other different continents. Welcome to week 4 of Infinity. Thank you for joining us. This is a space where we can meet away from our busy schedules, meditate together, and hear experiences and learnings from masters. Thank you. So I am Jenny, and I'm joining from Chennai, India. So I'll give my short intro on infinity. The word infinity, it has a lot of I's, and I stands for identification or our ego. But in this space, we are aiming at embracing the oneness with ourselves and oneness with everyone and everything around us. So we have dropped all the I's and replaced it with one for oneness. As you can see the title, infinity, right? So friends, let's hop on to the week 4 of the 52-week program. And today we have a wonderful speaker, Chandra Pulamarasetti, Chandra sir, as our guest speaker. And to introduce him and to talk to him, I would like to welcome Hari, our host of the day. Hari, let me give a few introduction. Hari is an IT professional in Melbourne, Australia. He's an ardent meditation practitioner for more than 20 years and have been teaching meditation to the community for past 15 years. He's representing the community started by him called Breath Universe. Welcome to the space. Hari, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for this. So, as she said, I'm Hari from Melbourne, Australia. And then today I'll be hosting the session. And I feel so good for hosting this outstanding session to be able to have the opportunity to introduce such great speaker and master as Chandra sir. So before we get into the session, I would like to give a short intro on Chandra sir. So Chandra Pulamarasetti sir is the founder of Buddha CEO Quantum Foundation. He's a successful entrepreneur, former vice president at IBM Corporation, meditation coach, and he's also a board member and advisor of Pyramid Valley International, Quantum Life University, and many other bodies. So he attributes a lot of his success, not just spiritually. We think that in progression, but every other success as a successful entrepreneur in acquiring a software company and running a software company, to the spirituality and meditation and manifestation. So inspired by the teachings of Brahmarshi Subhash Patriji, he had read so many books, and then he had studied and done many experiments on many of the masters like Joe Dispenza, Swami Rama, Neil Donald Walsh, and many other meditators. He has been practicing meditation from past 22 years and have been teaching regularly to leaders, especially in the professionals and in the corporate world, by conducting many meditation sessions and spiritual activities. So his dream as a spiritual warrior is to make the world spiritual as soon as possible in the shortest possible time, where every leader transforms into a Buddha CEO and contributes to the cause significantly. So we have such an eminent guest here today, and it is my pleasure, sir, to be able to interact with you today and then host this session with you on Infinity. With that, welcome you to this program.
Thank you, Mr. Hari. Thank you, Jenny Shambhala. What a nice name. Shambhala, Reshmi Madam there, Rajendran, Koteshwar, and everybody out there. Thank you for this opportunity to be part of this beautiful program by IFSS, Indian Federation of Spiritual Sciences. Great concept that Patriji brought out in the year 2009 or 10. And so glad that we are doing these programs. When I was in the middle of it, in July, I think we did one program in Visakhapatnam. So it was really, I felt, went back into this project again. So I'm happy that I'm back here again. And I hope to continue here. Yes, so whichever way that you want me to do.
I think we'll start with meditation, sir, for some time, and then followed by we'll have an interactive talk.
Okay, about 30 minutes meditation?
Yes.
All right. Okay, hi friends. So let's go into meditation, anapanasati meditation, breath mindfulness meditation. It's always so empowering to do a group meditation, something that Patriji so dearly brought to all of us, simplified it. All the techniques have been there, but Patriji really simplified anapanasati, vipassana to just that anapanasati and said everything happens. So everything happens. And then rightfully so. And so let's go into this process. Very simple practice. And there may be newcomers here. The way to do this anapanasati is by observing our breath. You sit down comfortably, relaxed in a chair or on the floor, as you see in the pictures. Fingers into fingers, hands in your lap comfortably rested. Cross your feet at ankle. And close your eyes. If you're wearing spectacles, remove them. And then be in a comfortable posture. It's important that you rest your body as comfortable as possible. If required, take back support. Spine need not be erect. And that posture, you're resting the body, you're withdrawing your senses the moment you close your eyes. Our goal with meditation is to empty the mind and then disconnect ourselves from the environment. We want to forget ourselves. We are energy and matter. When we empty the mind by observing our breath, slowly, we lose sense of the matter, so become energy. We experience that energy, that whole that exists out there. So as you relax in this posture, I would like you to observe your breath. Attention anywhere on the nose as a reference point, and then be observant of that breath, in breath and out breath, your natural breath, no forceful inhalation or exhalation. When you observe your breath, your mind slowly becomes empty. And as your mind is empty, you may experience emptiness all around. Be with it. And slowly you may experience some sensation, movement, energy in any part of your body, involuntarily. Anything that happens involuntarily, observe it. They're called meditative experiences. Do not interpret, do not analyze. But if you know that you have thoughts at any given time, bring your attention back to the breath again, dear friends. And again, observe, and again, go into the empty states.
So thank you so much for taking all of us into a wonderful experience. So having said that, now we'll kickstart our interaction. So this space infinity, as many of the participants already know, sir. So it's all about interacting with the guest and making the most of bringing out all your energies as much as possible is what we try to do in these sessions. So so I would like to start the interaction. If you may, if you have no questions, it'll be like, I'll be asking a few questions to start with, and then we'll take it forward as we go. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So to start with, for me, I have already given the introduction of you on being a CEO of Buddha CEO, and then a founder of Buddha CEO, and many other organizations. But I'll start with personally. We have heard that your family is called Dhyana Kutumba. So it's a meditation family. So why is it so? And what do you think about what if every family becomes like your family? How would it be? What do you visualize that as?
Yes, I think we all are working towards that. But we are fortunate. Maybe we all feel there is a collective group consciousness that we came together for a purpose. And so maybe we all just so happen to be together in the same family. It's called because we started with Dr. GK, from whom I learned meditation, my parents learned, and then my brothers, my sisters, and then their families, their children. Everybody's practicing meditation, and then everybody more or less are doing service significantly. Everyone is more or less running with their own projects. That's the beauty of pssm, the Patriji gave enormous freedom and independence to be able to spread meditation. The purpose is only one, spread meditation. And the vehicles are many, the paths are many, so everyone chose one way or the other. So yes, it's called meditative family, but yes, all the entire world, it's going to become the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, from Dhyana Kutumbakam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's got to happen. Anyway, once someone comes into meditation, naturally our family extends to much larger. We all know this. Yes.
Absolutely. That's a great thing. That's what I feel like, when I say family, whoever we meet as a meditator automatically becomes part of our family. So that's a great thing. And that also you're fortunate. Absolutely. There is a purpose. So that's why, you all, your whole family, GK sir, you and all the sisters have come together and then doing great work amazingly in different areas across the world. But one thing, sir, like, being in a corporate world and worked in US and then, in totally a material world, what made you hold on to this meditation practice? Because you might have just meditated for 10-15 minutes and then, just stress free and then run behind the corporate, material world. But what exactly made you hold on to it? Let me ask.
I have to say that it happened naturally. Meaning in a soul evolution, there are some who are waking up to a crisis, and there are some who are looking as they find a gap in their life. What next? It's not a crisis, but it's some kind of, it's a different crisis, or whatever you want to term it. But some are naturally just moving from one to the other. So somewhere down, it just happened that Dr. GK used to tell me, meditation will give you success, take it, take it, take it. And I would tell him, don't waste your time. This is in 99, 98. We were talking about that time. And then somehow it caught me in one of the vacations in 99. And then he and my dad took me to Patriji. So there, Patriji challenged me, saying that you may be whatever you are in the United States, it doesn't matter, but you do not know how to live life. And then he was pointing to a boy and said, you need to learn a lot more from this boy. So that's when I started questioning and then contemplating about this process. It took me some time to explore, to get into it. But then that was a deep impression that Patriji made in the first instance, challenging me where I thought I was very successful in the corporate world, but somebody here telling me that I don't know how to live life. So that was quite, I thought, something that I cannot miss. Good sense prevailed. Dr. GK and my father, Appaji Garu, so were always telling me, if you walk away, because I was very hurt, if you walk away, Patriji won't lose anything, but if you stay and then explore, you might gain everything. So choice is yours. So somewhere I stayed back and then explored. So I think it happened. I don't know, not going through any crisis or anything, but I think just the natural course that, you move from Tamo to Rajo to Satvik to Suddha Satvik. So just, I guess, moving on from life from one to the other. This is, I guess, a gradual thing has happened there.
That's beautiful. I think that's one thing that many people who meet Patriji may tell as well. Like, he pressed the right note for people who meet him, especially in the first meet itself. He touches the right point which somehow triggers this thing. So that's wonderful. But doing meditation is also, to some extent, yes, you got convinced there's something that you don't know how to live life. But thing is, what made you start Dhyana Prachar, like teaching meditation? Yes, Pati sir said you don't know how to live. Then yes, you might have worked on yourself and left. But what triggered this Dhyana Prachar aspect?
Yes. So once I wanted to explore, so then I was most certainly researching. sometime in 2002. So 3 years passed. I was just observing quietly. I would go to every Dhyana Chakra, called Dhyana Mahotsavas. At that time, 99 onwards, they started. So I was happy to be part of every one of them since the time Patriji started. So I would observe closely what's going on, but I was not really jumping in. But sometime in 2002, I jumped in quite a bit into it, in reading extensively books and then also meditating. In 2 months of deep practice, I gained some important transformation happened for me. The workplace, which used to be quietly stressful, and then I used to think very biased place or workplace, that all changed. People started behaving differently. My work became great, and then relationship at home changed. Basically, the way I look at world has changed. The Harvard study of events are neutral, but it is the meaning that we give changes the way we think and feel about that. The meaning we give changes the way we feel about it, good or bad, low or high. So that transition happened there. The moment I understood that suffering is due to your ignorance, which I used to read quite a bit in most of the pamphlets that Patriji used to get printed and then circulated. Suffering is due to your own ignorance, Gautama Buddha. And so that was a profound statement I was exploring. And by the time I finished this 2 months meditation, that transition happened. 90% of what we suffer is here in our mind. So that switch happened, I felt. And also the time that I read, so the world looked different, easy to go to work, happy, even if 17 hours of work was pretty easy. People are responding greatly. I started making some great progress, startups by then. So then in 3-4 months, also I healed of an acute illness that was there, sorry, a chronic illness that was there, some kind of ENT challenge, which is not a crisis situation, but it will prevent me from my career growing greatly because it will prevent me from flying. If I take a flight, it is a problem for me. And so I had to cut down on my flights. And so this disappeared in spite of many, many medical experts in the United States mentioning that this will not go away forever, but it disappeared. So that made me strongly believe the concept that our thoughts create reality, because I was hearing a lot about it by then. And so having experienced these, then it became very clear to me that I wanted to really explore. And that's when this opportunity to serve came. So honestly, I came into service with an understanding that I will grow. I will grow. I will get to spend close time with Patriji, Paul Vijay Kumar then, and Dr. GK and other masters who are also are interested in doing this work. So how do you grow in any field? You spend time with the experts in that field. So meditation service is a great opportunity that way for me, and I thought. And so I jumped into Pyramid Valley project. First I was in Bangalore, and so there's an opportunity to be a trustee in Pyramid Valley to set it up. And so Paul Vijayakumar and I were doing an actively a lot of work at that time because we were only 2 people in Bangalore. So now having started there, then the feeling of what I was doing was growing significantly. Service was giving me deep satisfaction. Didn't know that it was my purpose that I was filling in. Not until 10 years later, when I just look back and contemplate that, I recognize how the project grew, Pyramid Valley, and how deeply I'm satisfied every time I think about the contribution they made. And it happened. I have the fundamental tendency that if I take up something, that I go deep with it. I go all out, commit to it, and then take the words very seriously if I commit to somebody. So that way, I was able to give maximum time possible to Pyramid Valley project while parallelly pursuing my career and all that, which I was not giving up at all. And so I was being able to do both. That's when I recognized if you think you have time, you have time. And I always tell people that I was doing 2 jobs for sure, because my service was not 2-3 hours a day. I was literally spending another 40 hours in a week on this project too, compared to while I was spending more time on my startup. So as it grew and as the satisfaction grew, I guess that happens that when you're living your purpose, you become more passionate, and so become more passionate, you're experiencing new. So it is a cycle. So it kept going.
That's
Yes, I was doing my purpose, so it's just no question.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That was something that I was about to ask, like, what's your association with Pyramid Valley? But thing is, see, being a spectator, I was very young, in studying, and back then, when Pyramid Valley started, we meditated on a flat ground, and then the way that it is being seen today is outstanding. So you were a direct witness, and also not just a witness, played a pivotal role in making it happen. How do you see this kind of a manifestation that has proved that something like this is possible? Because back then it was like, how's it going to happen? Such big pyramid? How is it even possible? Was the question that's going on with many minds. So,
You
how
know,
do you see this manifestation and your association with it?
these are all, I think, very, very important aspects that also kept me going. Patriji, it used to have such a hectic schedule.
Yes.
And those days, even more than in the last 5 years, right? From 2018 and 19 onwards. But his schedule used to be, I never seen him sleep before 1 or 2 o'clock. And then always is up by 6 o'clock, wherever it was, people would just go into the bedroom, spend time with him. Then there is a round of discussions. Then he takes bath, and again, another round of discussions, goes onto the road. So he was doing extensive travel on the road. And several times we would ask him to take a flight. He would say, no, I'd want to spend time, or rather spend time meeting all the people along the way and then go, then to actually take a flight and just hop over. And so having seen him in close quarters, and then he would stay with our homes in Bangalore every month when he come there for the project. And so I'd spend some close time. So that is a big motivation for me to be in this service. I've seen Dr. GK. I've seen Paul Vijayakumar, who was full-time giving service. He gave up his business that he had in Kurnool, came here relocated to Bangalore, having nothing, but had the courage to dream that this project can come. So having seen them, it was definitely enough motivation that I can also do something. I can also definitely give my time. And Pyramid Valley project. So I don't know how, but it was the intention was there to be part of the project. So we went there. And I also didn't know about much of the movement, the trustees. So there were 6 or 7, about 8 names were there, and only 2 of us in Bangalore. That first interaction, and then where the first big belief came, was in about 3 months from, this is very important, especially when we all are doing service projects. And first 3 months later, we acquired just 5 acres of land by paying in advance. And so Patriji said, let's do a function there. Until that time, I was really at a very, very far away distance to Patriji. I didn't even know him. Then as a function that happened in the Pyramid Valley place in the land, just 5 acres of land in advance. So there is a function. About 200 meditators from Andhra came. Remember those days, Bangalore had very few meditators, and a handful of them like Shivaramapaji, Narasimha Rao, and very, very few then. And so in spite of that, Patriji had this vision, so he wanted to build this pyramid. And then Paul Vijayakumar supported him so greatly, so they came. So when this function was happening, with my knowledge of corporate knowledge, so I was able to write a nice brochure. It was just natural. So we wrote a brochure, and then we put it to the Patriji and said, and we did an estimate, and then it came to about 14 to 15 crores. I remember I wrote in the brochure that it's going to take 14 to 15 crores to build this project. And what did we have? Not even 10,000 rupees. We started with a donation by one master from Vizag called Srinivas. 10,000 rupees. All that we had. And none of the trustees had, or rather, I didn't even know what they are there. None of them were deep pockets for sure. Shreyans Jagaji was there, but then he was not active at all in the first few months, not until December of that year, which is 9 months, well after 9 months of starting the project. And so Patriji had asked him on the stage, sitting next to him, while Kwaite was asking him, Patriji, how do you expect that this project will come? We don't seem to have any money. It's 14 to 15 crores. Then he said, Chandra, my projects don't start with money. Neither they start with people. They start with intention. And all my projects are that way. It's all about how strong an intention you have, how much you can dream about it. You are now 9 or 10 of you together as a trustees. If you as a group can dream together and then talk about it together and be passionate about it, it's going to grow. It's going to come up. So this is how all my projects are, and then this is what I'd like you to do this. Brochure is the first great attempt to bring people together. So go about talking about this. So that was a great inspiration for me. And then those words were, and then he also said, money is incidental. Patriji, I used to hear that in the PSM hallways from Paul and some of the senior masters. Money is incidental. It has got its place, but doesn't start from there, right? Everything starts with intention, thought. And so thereafter, those inspirations were great. And so with that, we had brought in many more people. We had multiple teams. We went around, many trustees went around Andhra and then tried to solicit. Now, another beautiful thing happened. The inspirations come for you to carry forward. Now, when we were going to acquire the land, so that time, the concept of energy is important to try to spread it to as many people to receive those donations, small or big, doesn't matter. But everybody, when you donate, you make your attention is there. And where you place your attention, there you place your energy, right? So by having people involved, whether small or big, so their attention onto the project means their energy onto the project is so important. And then so in Andhra, so many masters, and then some of them, particularly we have cases from Vijayawada, somebody from rickshaw pullers who hardly could even earn 100 rupees a day, were contributing for a life membership of 10,000 rupees in installments. So when we heard these cases, those are so inspirational that there are people who truly believe that this pyramid project can be very, very useful to everybody. So then we must contribute a lot more. So like that, we kept pushing ourselves, and so the project grew. I wanted to just stop here. Then Shreyans Dagaji, of course, after 9 months, 10 months, he joined, he came in, he saw the project. It is like love at first sight for him. I remember both of us there, evening 6:30 or 7 o'clock, just about getting darker. He saw it and said, this is like a wonderful preserved forest then. But suddenly that whole valley showed up for him and whatever. And so he committed himself to this project. It's a great visionary. So that was helping. And truly the money incidental part, I wanted to open up a case. The pyramid frame, which is the biggest purchase order then we made, about 1.1 crore for the pyramid space frame. When you're deeply interested, companies come automatically. We got attracted to one vendor. One vendor came, suddenly popped up. Who can build this pyramids of that size? Because nobody has done in India that size at all till that time. But however, somebody who built a pyramid for Infosys, he came, he did a space frame. It was no brainer. We gave the contract to him. Geodesic, great master. Now, 1.1 CR was the purchase order to give it to him. We gave it. No money in the bank, but we gave 1.1 CR purchase order, right? I don't even know how we were going to fulfill it, right? We didn't even know how we were going to fulfill it, but we gave the purchase order. And then our only goal was to see how we can go on giving an installment after installments. That's all it is. So 20 lakhs pulled in, we gave him as an advance, so it was good. So he started, then another 10, another 5, another 10, another 5. Before I realized, we went to 90. Before I realized, we went to 90. They also cooperated. And so that's that thing when the space frame happened, it all happened so quickly. Land happened with a few other models, and then space frame happened. It was the biggest thing to happen. And then the moment it happened in 6 months time frame. And there's no looking back. We said this project is absolutely has got the energy. Since my belief grew a lot more that there are so many individual forces are working for it, right? If we can conquer from zero a 1.1 CR project purchase order, and then these projects can be built. So then thereafter, we dreamt about project after project and kept building.
Absolutely. That was a great journey, sir. I mean, even I've been seen that and how it happened, and that statement, like money is only incidental, is something that each one of us have to learn. Like we have to have a good intention, and then money follows, and everything follows. So, which you have proved with that structure. Your team has proved with that structure. So that's really great to know. So before we go into your Buddha's
I also want to acknowledge. I also want to acknowledge the initial core team. When we come together, and then Patriji had this fundamental. This is what happens. A great master can pick the talent of the people are, what they're good for, the best at. And so then when that happens, and then this morning, this afternoon, I was listening to PMC Hindi live, where PMC Hindi is celebrating signing up Tata Sky as a satellite channel. So they're reaching 2 crore more homes. And so picking the right people, so picking up Amolya and Alekhya as, this masters driving the force behind, apart from many others there. And so then when you're picked up, so naturally there is something, right? So all the people who are there, and most certainly Paul Vijayakumar played an active role in identifying these people with Patriji, and all the people did a lot of contribution. Every trustee in the initial team of trustees, every one of them, we would have monthly commitments. It's like a sales thing, right? We'd have a monthly commitment and say, Raghu Garu, how much you will raise, and then say, and Satyanarayana, how much you'll raise, and Indira Lakshmi, how much, madam, you can raise, how many membership you can do. We would just have commitments for each of us and come back a month later, and they were doing regular meetings, and everybody committed time that came. They were not calling and say, I'm not coming. So we had such a unified team, but a lot of commitment and respect for this work. And so that helps. That helps because they would personally give money. They would go all about where they can't give money. They would raise money from the public. Either way is fine, right? And ultimately want as money. But then that would support to bridge the gaps in between and then try to continue to make our dreams come true. So I wanted to acknowledge all the initial trustee team and many, many people who came together to make this happen. Yes.
Absolutely, sir. That's really great. So the team is definitely an example for many other projects that's happening, and that many more to come across the world. So before we go into the Buddha CEO, so one important question is, Patriji is multidimensional, so he has many facets that many people have seen him from many different dimensions through their experiences, lives, and purposes. So, what is Patriji to you? What he means to you, if we may ask?
An absolute visionary. An absolute visionary is to me, and then I would call a great spiritual engineer. Always, an engineer is somebody who is not in theory, is always in application and practice, right? So that's why you call them engineers who give solutions, practical solutions. So a great spiritual engineer, always giving practical solutions. And then when you combine vision with solutions, and then you got great stuff going. There are people who have made visionaries, can't execute, but there are people who can execute but don't have vision. Patrice had this going greatly. Okay, that's how I saw him.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. So he's a great visionary, and that's why all these things are happening magnificently. So that's great. So
Visionary
now,
in action, visionary and then engineer in action. So whatever that he would say, whatever you dream of, he would demonstrate in action. Right? Patrice always led from the front. Whether it is
yes,
in service, whether it is in raising donations, he never hesitated to ask for money, right?
yes,
And doing any project, he'd always be there, however small or big, right? He's always led from the front, practically showing the path, right?
yes,
In impeccable speech, you couldn't ever beat him in the way his words were so impeccable, right? And showing diligence and never waste time. When he said never waste time, no hurry, no worry, we saw it in action. No hurry, no worry, never waste time. I
yes,
deeply took this always, right? We saw in action. Now we all, for example, sometimes sit in a group and because we came together as a group, then we just go on chatting for 2 hours, 3 hours, right?
that's
But
right.
Patrice, you come with him, you are there. The moment you finish your talk, even in the group, you will find his way of reading his book or making his corrections. You're actually getting his work done, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
So never waste time was there for sure. And no hurry, worry. I've seen it in front with my own eyes when we were doing these large events. Sometimes, we were not even ready with our arrangements. But he would walk away coolly and say, okay, everything's
Yeah,
going to happen, right?
uh,
So what if it didn't happen? So what's to happen? It's a little bit of imperfection here, there. But what you would always see is, are you sincerely putting your time and effort or not, right? But otherwise, no worry. So all of this we've seen from him in action, in addition to the vision, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great explanation of what Patriji is on your side. So thanks. Now coming to the important part, like you are a founder of this Buddha CEO Quantum Foundation. So what is it? What exactly is it? Can you please tell about this foundation and what works does it do?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate to be having corporate experience from the beginning, and as we're working at Pyramid Valley International, which is an international project by itself, serving a lot of urbans in most cases. And it was becoming clear to me slowly that my purpose is somewhere towards doing work towards the corporates to global citizens. Our purpose is always tied to the unique talents that we are given. And when I look back, I always travel a lot on my business worldwide, and doing deep-rooted work into the corporates, more into the leadership. So it became somewhere around in the mid 2010s or so. Sometime they started becoming clear that this is where I need to go. This is where my biggest strength is, to add value. I knew meditation, but then where do I spread the meditation as I'm wrapping up my work with Pyramid Valley International? So when you are finishing up your purpose or your major part with the project, then suddenly the next one comes to you. And so as I was doing that, this thought came that I need to go and do a lot more work in the corporate side. And around the same time, Patriji mentioned that, Chandra, let's start, a corporate, let's start doing corporate work, do it to the leadership, because we have many PSM masters also are there. That time, Shreyansh Daga, Deepak Sangvi, and some income tax commissioners, and many of them. So come together and then let's do some work, and so let's organize conferences. So he gave a word with our CEO then, 2015. He said, organize conference to take meditation to the leadership. Leaders have a lot of resources. They have a lot of resources, they have money, they have wisdom, they have men, and so all of that is there. So if leaders are convinced, then it can spread down, top-down approach, right? Trickle down quite well, fast. And so we did some conferences, but it didn't take further on for various reasons. And then, but however, I took this into IBM Corporation, where my company got acquired by IBM with a lot of manifestation wisdom and all of that. And so we did extensive work in IBM along with co-founder Buddha CEO now, Lawrence Gohart Jolly, and I. We did a lot of work in IBM trying to do what I really wanted to do in the corporate, spread this meditation in a structured fashion, scientific meditation wisdom. And so that became stronger as my purpose became a lot more clear. So what started as a seed in the 2015 as a conference, then by 2020, it took shape as Buddha Quantum Foundation. So I came out of IBM with a deep calling for becoming full-time to do this service work. And so the foundation was started sometime mid 2020 to introduce meditation to the leadership, to the governments, to corporate employees, also to the future aspiring leaders who are graduating youth. So these are the target segments that we look at, and then we try to give them scientific meditation wisdom. In a way, they appreciate it, and in a way, they feel that it can be rolled en masse in their organizations. This is what we're doing as Buddha Quantum Foundation. And the work is global, tying very closely to the founders, and all of our expertise is there. So the work is global. This is going to the global leadership.
Yeah, that's amazing to teach meditation and spirituality and bringing that closer to corporates. But sir, like, how is it different teaching to corporates? What's your observations? Like, why this should be a separate sect for leaders and corporates? What are your observations
Well,
as well?
Well, I mean, every place the approaches are different, right? And in corporate, you're talking about the language of growth. You're talking about, teamwork. You just need to use the right terminology. And then also, so one is that the pain points are different. Attrition, you need to talk about attrition. You need to talk about alignment to the purpose for employees to be a lot more productive, right? So these are the words that are used in the corporates compared to, say, an education sector, right? An NGO sector, different, right? And the second thing is there's too much of a logic. Right? This is a tough part, which sometimes make you feel like, are you wasting your time somewhere? But I think it's all got its own place. There's too much logic, so you need to approach it differently, right? You need more scientific evidence and fact-based things for them to be able to appreciate it better. That meditation is absolutely science-backed, and so there is that we have to bring in. So this is how I see the work in corporates is different. I do believe that you may take time to nurture some of these leadership and then employees, but then once they're convinced, what we see is that they're very, very sincere. If they take up, they're very, very sincere. But seriously, they're taking up, because you make a decision, then you run with the decision, right? That's what we see many of them corporates.
Yeah. I think you just really pointed on the logic part differently. Like when we take the sessions in corporates, that's the biggest thing. I had this experience on a lighter note where when I was teaching in a corporate, I was telling meditation gives peace, this, and then they asked, like one person asked, okay, once I get all this, what is it? I said, you'll be happy. He said, I'm already happy. Why should I do meditation? You know what? It cracks somewhere. So getting to that point of logic and cracking through it nicely is a key part. So yeah, that's great work, and that's the tough space as well, which requires experience definitely and expertise as well. So having said that, sir, like what are your programs, current programs right now, and what are the works or any projects that Buddha CEO is doing, if you may share?
We did a great amount of work in the first 3 years. Our goal really is to nurture this leadership with organizations and then connect them at some point back into various PSSM projects. This is really the vision. We want to be able to connect people and into various projects out there. If somebody is in Coimbatore, we want to connect them to PSM there, right? If somebody is into media, we want them to connect to a media channel. So that's really the goal of where we are working towards, is ultimately the leadership in companies, when they come forward, so they need to support, because when they decide to do it, they need projects. And then they decide to do it, they need projects, right? And so we've done, so far, our work was in going to a lot of public, as part of the public, by default, based on the language that we use, we attract mostly 75% of our programs are by employees, and then 25% are entrepreneurs. This is really how we've seen our programs, people attending. Hundreds of them attend worldwide. And so now as they're transforming, one thing that we're seeing is many are introducing quietly in their companies. That is happening. We know that. Many informally, formally, because it's very easy. They all speak well. So, and then we have given structured courses. We've given a lot of material, learn from Patriji, no copyright. And so we clearly stated, so you take and use everything that we put together. That's what we are for. So having done that 3 years work, and we introduced a corporate magazine called Buddha CEO magazine. It's got a very, very neutral language. You feel very easy to give this magazine because it doesn't carry heavy spiritual science literature. Sometimes it's termed as religion, right? It's difficult that they may be promoting religion because people are misconception. And so, but then however, Buddha CEO magazine is very neutral. It's all science-based language and then corporate language, so easy. So we have been distributing that quite a bit to many organizations in India. And now we've taken a very important project. So generally what we do, we're doing public programs, many free programs, then we're doing focused targeted programs, any corporate approaches us, then we do a program for them, intros, 3-week programs, 6-week programs, we do that, right? Not a lot of them the way we wanted, but it's happening, right? It is happening. We are doing here, there, all that we are doing. Then, of course, we do a lot of programs into the youngsters, into the colleges we go, and to the graduating students. Generally, graduating students, again, difficult to get them to sit down, because they don't believe in all of this. But then again, I think we've got some stories, so generally we're able to hold their attention and then get them to go through it. Okay, so this is what we're doing. And then now, after 3 years of this work, we have started a new initiative, and which is where Buddha Siva's real work is starting, I feel, called Project Excellence. The idea is to work with senior leadership in the government and in organizations, and invite them to create intense awareness to them, and so they start looking at the enormous benefits of it. And how do you create awareness? By presenting the entire PSSM work, whether it's QLU, PSSM Global, or Buddha Siva, or Spiritual Tablet, or PMC channels. We are working closely together with many of the organizations in creating awareness by showing the work that we are doing, and then also enable workforce, the trainers. Many trainers are there, thousands of trainers are there in PSM across organizations, put them all together, and then connect them to any leads that come from this government leadership or corporate leadership. If they say, we want you to come and then do in our corporate CSR work where we are teaching meditation in 100 schools, I need you to come and support in 100 villages, so we need to connect teachers. So we are doing this work called Project Excellence, is an ongoing program, starting that with the first mega conference called Global Conference of Meditation Leaders in Delhi in February. We're doing it in a very prominent location called India Habitat Center. And many speakers are there. There's the first of the many initiatives. This global conference of meditation leaders will come together. We invited CEOs, practicing officials like Padma Bhushan MB Athreya, Kiran Bedi, who has done a lot of meditation work in Tihar jails. The meditation could be something else, doesn't matter. But these have meditation-based programs to bring a positive social change. So with that theme, as excellence through meditation, basically we've taken growth as a theme, we launched this project. So our future that I imagine is that we're going to do many of these conferences in different districts, different state capitals, apart from Delhi, and then work through with those management officials and connect them to the, in case as and when they identify project, connect them to our local masters and chapters there, PSM chapters, PSM projects. That's really how it's going to happen. Yes.
That's amazing work. So much going on, and it's so much expanding in very unique ways, is what I see. So that's really great. So, having said that, if I may ask, what would you like to achieve in this lifetime in the spiritual movement? Is there anything that you have thought? So, like, you know what, I want to achieve this in this lifetime in this spiritual movement.
We all are sharing the same common vision and dream of Patriji, right? To see everyone meditating. And so, I don't know if we call it achievement, but I'm absolutely working towards it, right? Working towards it. Feeling today already deeply fulfilled about having fulfilled the purpose. I feel that way. Every day we wake up and when we look at ourselves and sipping that cup of coffee, we must feel that satisfaction, that contentment, that our life has a deep meaning. So that's all I'm looking at every day and every project. And we're not having too much of plans for the future. There's always just in time you know it. We are working in more of a consciousness driven and surrender to the consciousness. So taking that way, if not day, maybe months at a time, I think that's all it is we are doing. Not too big of plans. And but however, sharing the common vision, we definitely would like to see millions of Buddha Siva leaders out there, and who will come together with every pyramid masters, all of us together, make this happen. So that for sure, we are imagining and dreaming that we would hold meditation sessions to 1,000 organizations simultaneously every day. I think those days are not too far away. We dream a lot, things like this, by the way. We do a group meditation every day with the Buddha Siva team in Bangalore, and then some of them volunteers join from outside. Every day we do a group meditation where we go through this visualization, right? It's free power we all have. And so we dream for the right things. It's great, right?
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Excellent, excellent. As we have discussed before with Patriji, everything starts with an intention. So this is a great intention, contributing to universe. So absolutely, this will happen, and we are going to witness it just like the pyramid that we have right now in Bangalore. So I wish us all the best and see that together very soon. So, do you have the presence outside India as well, sir? Like, what are the activities or any such has started or any steps towards that?
Yes, it's global. Buddha is global. Even though participants were there from around 30 countries, I think most of it work is in US, some of it in Canada, and Middle East, quite a bit is there, apart from India. Nepal, Bangladesh are quite extensively people are following, we know that. And then here and there in some countries, right? So by definition, it's global work. Very importantly, we are enabling, see, we are technology oriented, we're all technologists. And so again, this is our purpose is tied to, like I said, your unique talent. So we are actively working on with Sai, who's been the guest here the first week, Sai Kripasagar, and another trustee of Buddha CEO, Rakesh. We are working on a technology, we're building an app which is going to be launched in this global conference, a Buddha CEO app to begin with, and a corporate app shortly thereafter. And to replicate, to scale adoption of it, we believe this is going to absolutely help in reaching to many, many students who are definitely can learn this. This app is an intuitive teacher. This is really how it's going to happen. It's going to be an AI-enabled machine language-based app. What I've found is that people drop meditation because they don't have proper guidance. So many people start, but they drop because they don't have guidance, number one, or two, yeah, it's all about guidance. When they don't have guidance and you start looking for benefit, you don't see, you drop. And then guidance is another because you suddenly have some experience, you feel you're not doing right, and then you drop. And so with these time zones and all of that, you can't really scale. So this app is going to scale as a teacher. That's really where it's going to go. And by identifying people's where they are, and it's going to guide them what we call a learning path. So they can, it's be guiding them to do this course, that book, this teacher, that meditation, all of this is going to continue to guide them, right? So we're releasing an initial version. So this is going to be an important initiative as part of scaling up the work that we're doing. And it'll help many, many projects in the moment, we know for sure.
Excellent, excellent. Hope to see all these wonderful initiatives come to reality soon. So that's a great conversation. Having said that, so what is your message to the young generation or the new meditators that are coming up with your association with PSSM now? What is your message in general to the young generation?
You know, with the time acceleration, instantaneous gratification, I think we are looking at. Even that is spreading into spirituality too, and say, hey, spirituality are going through meditation to reshape ourselves. There's no time frame to it. We just work on it without necessarily, there's no hurry. I think that I say that there's no hurry. We don't have to hurry and in the frenzy of saying, oh, they're doing this, we're doing this. We don't have to hurry anything. Instead, we do it right. Do it right for ourselves. So it's never about comparing what other person is doing. So am I able to do this or that? And so it's about a deep root transformation. It is for us first, whatever we're doing, and then all of it is for us first, and then for everybody else next. And so without a hurry, we take those steps one at a time and then do it for yourself. And do it for yourself. And it's never about how many years somebody is in or not in. It doesn't matter. But then do it for yourself. See the transformation in yourself as much as possible. And experiment. Constantly experiment. Never take anything out of the thing and say this is how it is working because somebody seen has said it. Constantly experiment because they may be working on beliefs. So we constantly teach this too, that the beliefs are formed so much. So I would say not be not in a hurry, and then do it right for yourself, and then experiment, and then continue to do this great work. Meditation service, I'd say, is the way to go, because meditation service provides us that access to the masters. Once I asked Patriji, what is the best way to strengthen your practice? And Pat came the answer within a second, that be with the master. Right? Because then you are automatically guided towards right meditation, automatically guided towards right work, which is, and then right satsangs happening, everything is happening. And so service gives that opportunity. When you're in service, you're always working together with a group of masters, and so then naturally you are doing everything that's necessary. So we're strongly advocating this to take up the service the moment you come into meditation. That's my personal experience too. And so I can speak with what I have been through, and so that's what we say.
That's an absolute rocking answer, I would say, because people think that in meditation is just about myself and then service is about others. But thing is, service is also about us. Service is also about, we walking through among masters to get a lot of insight and inspiration and energies and guidance. So it was really great having conversations about various things, starting from various topics in spirituality and your experiences, the journey of Pyramid Valley, and all the great work that Buddha CEO is doing. There's so much that we have covered, and it's with immense gratitude I thank Infinity team and everyone for giving this opportunity for me to be able to interact with you.